welcome to another exciting episode of The Black Shield on the I Am Beast Network. Today we're going to get to a topic, bully and the badge. The bully and the badge.
Oh boy.
Boy. Always been a misconception that police must have got punked when they was in high school.
Watch out.
Got beat up when you was in high school, so now you're the police and you're going to victimize the bullies.
That sure is a damn lie.
That's a lie. Well, I'm looking at these brothers' arms. I know y'all wasn't no punks in high school for sure, right?
You know what I'm saying? You got to give them a little something. Give them a little taste of that.
Yeah. So we got Brother Dre Ewing, Big Brother Dre Ewing from Cincinnati, the natty.
Yes, sir.
And we got Big Brother Xcalibur Miller.
You know.
The X Factor.
Come on with it.
What is it?
He's from South Carolina, State Trooper.
Yeah.
And I am Major.
Watch out.
Major.
Come on with it.
Rasheed the Lightford.
You don't pull rank.
I got to pull rank. I'm sorry.
You don't pull that rank on.
Hey, what you're hearing from me, from these brothers, are not indicative of any agency, any subdivision, political subdivision. We're talking to you from the heart, from us. This is us, coming from us and no one else, okay?
That's right.
So keep your lawsuits to yourself. We got holes for that.
Word.
Come
on with it.
Word.
But yeah, bullying the badge. Bullying the badge. I talked to my brother X earlier, and he was telling me about a person that made a comment, and I'll let him go to that. Let him speak to that part.
Yeah. So this brother, man, I grew up with. He works for us. He passed a couple of years ago, so I'm not going to say his name out of respect for his family. But I was talking to him. I was coming into law enforcement. I was kind of like, picking his brain, what to expect when I go to the academy and everything. And he's like, yeah, expect this. He said, man, bro, I came in here, bro, because they used to fuck with me in high school, man.
Right.
They used to fuck with me, and I'm getting all of them back. And I looked at him like, word? I'm like, really? That what you want? I asked him, I said, that what you want? He was like, yeah. And he was dead serious.
Wow.
He had like that Diddy look like.
Oh, yeah, smack. Not that.
Yeah,
not that.
Take that. Yeah, playboy. And that's like, yo. But it makes me wonder, he said that out loud, like, and I know he was serious. I saw it in his eyes.
Right.
So that makes me wonder, like, how many other these cats thinking like that? I never came in, like I told you guys early, man. Growing up, man, my vision was I went to college for communication. I wanted to be basically like Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharp, sports analyst.
Right.
And I want to play some type of professional athlete.
Talking that mic, I got to hear what you saying. The people got to hear what you saying.
So I came in, I basically want to be a professional athlete, but also do sports analyst, man. So that's what I went to college for communication.
Okay.
So law enforcement was never on my mind growing up.
Right.
It's just like I told you guys why I came in, because I wanted to be the change. But
okay.
Right.
Okay.
it's just scary that when he told me that, I'm like, damn, how many other people think like this?
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Correct. And I know we're going to get into it later on dealing with mental health, but this is why I made it very clear that about every 3 to 6 months, there should be a reevaluation of police officers, patrol officers, whatever assignment you're in. Why? Because you're not the same person you was when you joined the academy.
Oh, that's right.
And certain things start to evolve within you, your attitude, your issues, and these what I call sleeper cells that get in and they start to show these attitudes, and they let them just go ahead and do the things anyway. And that's why it trips me out when we watch shows or they say, man, how did that person become a police officer anyway? And they go back and look at their jacket and they got all kind of complaints. But it started earlier in the process, and that's why, man, this is a deep conversation.
It is. I was never a bully. I never got bullied.
Right.
I wasn't that guy. Right. I didn't get into for that. I didn't get into to choke folks out and beat folks. So that's not what I got into this business for. I know some people that enjoy it, and you can watch them. I know people you need to watch. They're too excited to stomp somebody out. They're too excited to fight. They want to fight. Back in the day when I first got in, we didn't have, like I said in one episode, we don't have all that stuff on our belt back then.
Okay.
So you had these paws. You know what I'm saying? That's all you had. You had the mitts, and you had to use the mitts. But the biggest muscle on your body is your brain. Okay. You got to use that, right? Come on. I didn't get bullied. So contrary to any belief, I didn't get bullied. But unfortunately, there are guys out there that did. And there's guys out there that want to exert their authority, their strength over you.
Right.
Police is the biggest gang. I mean, it is what it is, strength in numbers, right? I saw something online, and it says, this is why we hate the police. and it was a white cop trying to take a black kid in or black man into custody, and they were tussling. The black cop disengaged, pushes him against the car, grabs his pistol, presents his pistol, and told him to get on the ground. Now, people see that and say, man, why you gotta do that?
Right.
Why you gotta pull his gun out?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you in the streets and somebody grab you, what you gonna do?
Yeah.
Right.
These young cats ain't playing. Guess what they doing?
Yeah.
They gonna pull that gun out.
Right.
They gonna pull that gun out.
Right.
So don't get it twisted. We men, we women first. We human beings. If our life feel threatened, what you gonna do? You gonna grab whatever you feel is necessary to protect your life. Now, not knowing the whole story, but I can tell you this now: if I get in a situation, I'm tussling, and you bigger than me. If I get one of you guys with them arms, I'm pulling that thing out.
Right.
I'm telling you that now.
Yeah.
Right.
Lay it down. So I get me some help.
I gotta go home, man.
I gotta go home.
I gotta go home. I deal with repercussion later on.
Yeah, I'm
I gotta
not
go
scared,
home.
but I ain't no fool either.
Right.
You feel me?
So how do we identify bullies with the badge? How do we make sure that when you the community wants to know, well, I'm starting to see a pattern with a certain officer, or even a certain town. How do we report bullies in the badge that are consistently making things worse? If they do try to complain and get swept under the carpet, who do they need to go talk to at least get some what I call some traction that type of officer should not be on the street?
But everybody got a boss.
Yeah.
Everybody got a boss. So if you report it to your sergeant and you feel like you didn't get what you need, you talk to their lieutenant. If you're not getting from the lieutenant, then you talk to the major. If the major ain't help you out, you talk to the colonel. If the colonel ain't help you out, then you go to the governor.
Oh, the governor.
Yes.
Okay.
Everybody got a boss.
We're gonna keep it real. We're gonna keep it real. We ain't hiding nothing. We tell you how to get it out there.
Right.
The whistleblowers, if you have that going on in your department, your agency, whistleblowers are protected. Right. They are protected. And if you feel like, yo, this guy's always in excessive uses of force,
right.
He's always, and he talks about it and brags about it. That's what he talks, man, I'm gonna do this. You know he's got a problem.
Right.
Now, as a brother, we probably want to talk to him first and pull him to the side and say, man, what's going on? Is he going through a divorce? You know what I'm saying? Is he going through any other issues? Is he going bankrupt? What has he got going on that might be translating into his professional life?
Okay.
We might need to save him. Or what's the biggest thing? When we in the pig, we call it the polyester, the pig pile. When you got somebody running, all of us get there and we all jump on and get some.
Right, yeah.
You know, once a man's handcuffed, it's over, right?
Yeah, it's a wrap.
Right.
Supposedly.
But when you see that one guy that just loved it too much and he ain't coming off.
Right.
Yeah. What do?
You talk to that brother. You talk to him first, man.
Man, listen. I'm gonna hate not to put a rain on this parade, but it's like this. You got this right here. Let me just go ahead and sweep that under the carpet. All right, because that's what happens.
That's what happens.
Because when they say, everyone bleeds blue. Don't snitch on your own. These are the things that the cover up does in the process, that you're not helping actually your fellow officer. You're hurting them.
That's right.
Because that individual needs some serious help. So sometimes, just what you said, it does go up the ladder, and it's just a little sweep carpet, because that goes back to an episode we did on leadership. How do we discuss? And you know what? I'm gonna refer you to make sure you talk to somebody.
Right.
It's necessary at this point, because you can't continue in this manner. So if I, as a supervisor, consistently sweep it under the carpet, then that situation on my hands.
Just as guilty as the person that's
right.
Thank you.
Just as guilty.
And another way you can make sure that it gets done is say, hey, I'm not working with him. I'm not working with her. Right. They're going to listen in. They got to listen.
Right.
Well, hey, why don't you? I'm not backing that person up. That person's a liability, because at some point in this situation, selfishness has to play a part.
I got a story to tell about that. I was in a similar situation a couple of years ago. I'm not with the agency anymore, but I used to complain to my supervisor about this particular officer. And he ain't hear me. My wife can attest to this. I used to go home and complain about it. That's the only time I bought the job. That's how bad it was.
Right.
Got so bad I feel like I'm gonna put hands on him. That's how bad. So I went and put an application in another department. So it got back to my supervisor. He called me and said, "What's the problem?" I said, "Dude, you know what the problem is." I said, "This is the route I got to go, because y'all not doing anything."
Right.
That next day I was on another shift.
Wow. They moved you though.
They moved me. I asked to be. I was kept asking.
What would happen to him?
He's still there, but he's somewhere else now. He's in another department also. But
say sweep it under the rug, just move.
Pretty
You.
much, yeah.
See,
Move.
Validation,
Right.
Yeah.
Validation.
Right. Yeah. You gotta get rid of. I mean, listen, and for you law enforcement officers out there, you have. It's not snitching. It's self-preservation, because guess what happens? All three of us, all four of us together, we in on something, and this brother breaks the law. He does something. He goes, it's excessive. Then we party of a crime.
We part of it.
And we're gonna get charged the same thing he get charged. And when the civil lawsuits come down, we gonna get that too. And I work too hard for my house, my cars, and all the shit I got. You know what I'm saying? To have to give it to you, to some perp. You know what I'm saying? Or anybody, because brother went overboard.
Just like when we talked about the last episode before the George Floyd situation, one of them brothers should have pushed that man off.
At one point. Yeah.
I said that. Yeah. I said I was looking at a couple. I was looking at the video. I'm like, okay, what point one of you guys, y'all clearly hear the man say he can't breathe.
Yeah.
So as soon as I'm hearing that, I don't give a damn. You my coworker, my brother. I don't give a damn. You my coworker, my brother. I'm pushing your ass off of.
Oh yeah.
See.
Oh yeah. You got to.
Yeah.
You got to. And I'm not too versed in that case. I mean, I remember it, and then so much that goes on.
Yeah.
But didn't they charge some of them?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They got charged also.
They got charged.
I don't think it's nothing a crazy sentence they had, but they did get charged.
But they still got blasted because they didn't do that.
Just stood there.
Hey, if you are your brother's keeper like you say you are, then you help your brother and get him up out of there.
Right.
If you see you getting heated, hell, I've been on both sides of that. I've been the one going off, and they like, hey,
chill out. It's done. It's over.
Let's go talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's go take a breather. Go get in the car.
Right.
We have to do that.
Right.
If you don't, I mean, you don't know what that brother's going through. You want to save his life.
Not justifying what he did, but we all been in that situation. Sometimes you do. It's like an adrenaline. Maybe he didn't hear Joe. I'm not defending what he did.
Right.
But maybe he didn't hear him.
Right.
But one of them guys heard. I know they heard it. It was too many officers out there that was sitting there watching. Yeah. And I know they heard him. When he said that, they should have just pushed his ass.
And you heard the crowd saying, hey, he can't breathe. And some of them actually didn't. Someone walk up trying to push him like, hey, trying to push the officers off of that guy. You know what I'm saying? And that's when it's bad, because typically folks ain't really getting involved that close. You got some people that just the exception. They got their phone and want to throw it in your face.
Right.
But most people ain't really getting involved with somebody that ain't their family.
Yeah. If you see a citizen getting involved, it's not law enforcement, but you know it's kind of
because he's a human being, and they realize, he can't breathe.
Right.
And we've always been taught, and they talk and they breathing.
Right.
But that's not always the case.
Right.
Yeah. He's breathing, but he's not for long.
Right.
So we have to, as police officers, we have to be each other's keeper, man. We have to. You can save his career, you can save his life, and definitely can save the life of that person that they trying to take into custody, right?
Right.
Listen.
You're right. Yeah. There's a lot of weak officers out here, weak individuals, man, that got bullied in high school. Bullied as little kids, and then they get to a position where it's just like when they pledge fraternities that the worst one was the weakest one, and he goes completely off, because we did an episode on leadership, man, and it's deep how they get into these positions and they the worst ones because they can maybe study a little bit better than others, and they act a straight up fool in the process of bullying. And I think you can identify a bully just by the excessiveness and the nature of how they moving each day. You can tell by their attitude how quick they are to just write somebody up. Their demeanor is completely disrespectful. Some officers, man, I used to be like, man, don't show up on my radio run, because I can have everything calmed down. Here come this fool coming to the scene and wreck the whole process.
One person, instead of one person going to jail, 10 people going, because he done excited everybody.
I thought I was the only one like that. That's my, if it's not a fatal or nothing like a DUI or something like that, where I need for you to sit by wait for the record for me, don't show up to my scene. I got this handle, bro.
I've canceled people over the radio for that negative. Start somebody else. What? Hey, I'll tell you later. Now I got a question. This is somewhat on bullying, and it could be a topic for another show, but we're gonna break it right now. Speaking of bullying, what about you got these command staff preying or bullying on these young women recruits to come in? Have y'all seen that?
Man. I haven't seen that, to be honest with you.
You ain't seen that?
I'm
State police are different, huh?
Yeah,
they different. I see.
If it happens, it's under wraps. Let me tell you something about me. Let me tell you something about me, right? I keep to myself.
Gotcha.
I'm guessing I'm the oldest guy on my shift, and what's going on, I keep to myself, man. Like if a young cat call me, I give him advice about things, whatever. But I keep to myself. So if it's going on, God honest truth, I don't know about it. That's how much I stay to myself.
Yeah.
Sometimes I got a cat on Highway Patrol call me up and say, "Hey man, you heard about such and such?" I said, "Man, when this happened?" Say, "You ain't know." I say, "Nah, bro." You know, so at state level, I haven't seen it. Even on a municipal level, because maybe if I work for a small town, if I work for a small town, I would have definitely seen it.
Right.
Well, hey, the agency I was
Now,
at
you
was
ATL. So I know, and you Cincinnati, so where you talk about the chief,
Well, they've actually calmed it down a lot with the sexual harassment policies. Women as well as men be able to speak out more freely, and just the unwanted verbiage and things that used to be said. So obviously, when I came on in 1996, they could. Oh no, it's all good, you know. But I'm still representing. You know what I'm saying?
I was in middle school, man.
Yeah, I know you wasn't no but a little baby. I was just there, little baby.
Still look good, bro.
Hey, I appreciate much love to you.
Motivation.
Much love to you. You made me forget my thought. Messing around with me, you know, cracking a joke.
Hey, but I tell you, I've seen command staff. They see something, get animalistic. And they you think, let me know, come see me, right?
Yeah.
And then you can see the uncomfortableness. You say, okay, yes, sir. You see the uncomfortable. And now these days, it ain't just men versus women. It's also men versus men and women versus women.
Correct.
I've seen that as well. I see them making comments. I saw one head of an agency make a comment to a brother, and I was sitting up. I got uncomfortable. He was in a vehicle next to me. We had our windows down talking. And he was eating a sandwich, and this person walks by. I see you eating that sandwich. Can I have a bite? And his way he said it.
Hold on, time out. Yeah. With a female, you do live in Atlanta.
It was a male on a male. And I tease, and I ain't gonna get into it. I tease this brother to this day. I tease him about it. But he said that, and my eyes got big, and my mouth dropped open. Did he? Right. And I was like, oh, when I looked at him, I started laughing. And he looked, I said, damn, did he just do that in front of me?
Wow.
So you should, but your department now has policies set up.
They have policies there. Matter of fact, he was the head of the agency.
That don't mean nothing, man.
I will say in Cincinnati and the way they consistently now enforce that process, that you definitely are aware of the things that you make the calls on and report somebody. But see, that's where it gets deep too. We talk about bullying the badge, is the fact that even if you present an EEO complaint, this is what has happened.
Yeah.
It's interesting because the department is policing themselves.
Right.
And I've always said the police cannot police themselves.
Right.
So you filling out this EEO complaint, this has happened to me for those equal opportunity, and here it is, equal employment opportunity format, and you send it in and they get it and they go, well, this my friend, the person that's in the command staff is friends with the person you writing up, and they say, we just gonna send it on through, and it disappears. And that's why I said it's a lot of stuff that goes on that we don't know about because not too many people are stepping up and stepping out. But guess what? Brother Dre is gonna start naming all kind of names. Y'all been running for almost 30 years and you can't run.
That's right. Call them out, baby. Call them out. No more.
I ain't gonna call no names yet. I'm still in the trenches, but I will say, some of the folks that do that make the policy, right? Now, one good thing I can say about one agency I was with, their internal affairs or their OPS, Office of Professional Standards, they didn't care. They didn't care nothing. They had a mandate that we don't care who it is, even if it's the sheriff himself. You do what you got to do. And them cats was laying it down. And when I tell you they was getting rid of folks left and right, people running like the house was on fire because they was calling them out. Wow. They was dealing with it. And there was a lot of that. Hey, come to casting couch. Come talk to me. Come see me.
Right.
Wow.
And that particular head of agency basically said, hey, don't find love in my jail. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't come over with that.
Right.
It was a policy put in place that you couldn't really date each other. There was no fraternization.
Right.
That's pretty rough. How do you do that when you spend so much time with some officers and then you human, you get those feelings, right?
Right.
But he's like, nah. Nah, you had to come to him, and you better be real, and both of you better be on the same page, and you understand that one of y'all getting transferred.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it happens. You have some folks that come in and they come in and that's the first thing they do. Okay, who's into my chain of command? Great. Who's a single woman?
Have y'all ever witnessed any female, even male officers complain about it? Anything, did anybody, look into it?
Well, years ago, they definitely complained about it.
Right.
And, you would have to go to the EEOC, more federal, to get a complaint through and have your own personal private attorney.
Right.
And that's when you really starting to get some weight in the process, because
we've had to spend your money on getting
see, that's just it too. You got the power to spend time with, get your own attorney, and the attorney isn't friends with somebody else within the department, because you see that a lot too. That's what's going on in Cincinnati as well. Friends of friends of friends. That's attorneys in the department, and so they do a cover up as well. And that's why the bullies, in the badge consistently get through, and it hurts and just destroys the community. But my question will be, how do we said it, but I don't know if they really heard. How do we get the bullies off the street? Is there a policy in place in Atlanta that you get them off the street? Is it you get, one warning, 2 warnings, 3 strikes you out? What is the policy though that's in place to get married? Because internal affairs can still play by their own rules.
Yeah. They have something in most agencies in our area that called the early warning system. So if you do so many things, you trip an alarm. Like, okay, he's got so many use of forces, or this on is so many complaints. Then now they're coming. They bring you to the table. They're trying to figure out what's going on. They bring you in personally and talk to you. Okay, you have this, and this going on. Why? What is this? We need to send you somewhere. Do you need counseling? Do you need something? You know what I'm saying? And if you don't have then they'll send you back to the psychiatrist. They'll send you to the psychiatrist to be, reevaluated.
You have to go.
You have to go. Ain't no choice, because now you're doing a fit for duty. You've done this. Now we need to make sure you still fit to even, be a police officer. And if you come back all clean, then but now you're being scrutinized. You're being monitored. Now, and I can't commend some departments in my area that really do that.
They're pretty much trying to dot all their I's and cross their T's before they get rid of you. So when the lawsuit can come.
Yeah, because anybody can get complaints, and most officers that are headstrong, that are the go-getters, those are the ones that are going to get complaints. And not saying that they're bad at their job, they're just out there proactive.
Right.
Okay.
And you get proactive people. And these days, everybody complaining.
Right.
So you can get 10 complaints, and none of them are valid. One of them are valid. 2 of them are valid, because people complain these days. They're just the culture right now.
Right.
So, but they get them. They sit them down. They literally go over their file and talk to them and see what's going on. Now, after that, and you still with that same behavior, then you got a problem. They're probably going to dismiss you.
Okay. Yeah, Rasheed, he brought up a good point. That's very valid. But to answer your question, Dre, is there a policy? You really don't get them out until they fuck up.
Correct.
Yeah,
that's when they get out.
Correct.
Until they finally F up.
So we might need to look into our own department, actually really look at, because you don't look into a policy until you need it.
Exactly.
Right. So maybe we need to look at that, and then maybe we can come back later on.
I never really paid attention to that policy. I just know, just for, just seeing everything in my career, normally the bad seeds, they normally don't leave until they get forced, they get fired.
Exactly.
Up.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's also on us to see it as well.
Right.
We see it, we have to act. We can't be silent anymore and go home and like, man, that dude, we can talk to that brother like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Because you can mess me up.
Right.
That's what I said earlier. That's when you got to be selfish sometimes.
I talk to you keep doing it, I'm gonna stay away.
You got to.
I come to you, back you up.
And I'm telling.
I'm documenting everything I see too.
Hey, and I'm telling.
Especially if I done talked to you several times.
Yeah, and I gotta tell. It is what it is. I'm telling. Call me a bitch, call me whatever you want to call me. I'm telling.
Yeah.
I'm telling, because I
got a mortgage, man.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it saves lives in the process of information. I don't even call it telling. I just call it, man, I'm here to actually save your life. You don't like me right now in this moment for the truth, but it's eventually going to save your life, and you'll thank me maybe later on down the road that this is exactly what happened, because there's so much underlining issues that's deeper, just causing all this bullying and the badge and information. I just say when I listened to the answers that you brothers gave, man, so on point, and talking about reviewing those policies. I think that's critical.
Yeah.
Is to make sure those policies get reviewed, because when you look at revision, sometimes you see stuff that was 10 years ago, and this hasn't been revised yet until the situation comes in place. I'm like, man, that policy is absolutely terrible. You know, there should be a policy staff that's constantly doing research on what are the top 5, 10 policies in police departments that need to be revised and looked at, you know, daily, hourly, and just make sure that if you care about your citizens, then you gonna care about the officer that's dealing with them on a daily basis.
That's right. I think that we need to most cities and departments need to have a citizens review board, and some do, some don't. But in addition to the citizen review board, I think those citizens should go to some sort of citizens academy, so they can understand, because they come into judge law enforcement personnel without having a knowledge of what their real job is. So if you go to a citizen academy, you have some sense of what their jobs are. So now that you're voting, because a lot of people's careers are in these citizens' hands, right? And these citizens, some are anti-police. Period. They don't care how you clean it up. They don't want you there, you know. But I think if they get some sense of what a police officer really does, then they can go back to their boards and speak on the behalf, or, you know, whether the person needs to be fired or not, right? So I think all departments need those citizen review boards, but just in addition, have them have some sort of law enforcement training.
I'm gonna go deeper, not just law enforcement training, but have a non-biased law enforcement officer that understands exactly what's there. Because from my experience, we have the CCA, the Citizens Complaint Authority, and some of them just dumber than a box of rocks. They don't even understand the procedures, what they're looking at. They don't understand the articulation in the police jargon. And when they come out with their finding, it don't even make no sense whatsoever, because they don't understand the policies and procedures at all. And that's the problem. They making these 6-figure salaries and don't know jack. And somebody somewhere has to do a better teaching of that process, and they should at least go through an entire academy situation to learn of what exactly is taking place. So when they watching these body cams and they going through and they come with their finding, it's absolutely ridiculous. Some of the things that they see as strictly civilian eyes versus knowing how things should have been conducted in police eyes.
That's right. I agree 100%.
Word.
What, on the state side, do y'all have any kind of merit board like that, or any kind of civilian review boards?
Nope. Our headquarters in Columbia review everything.
Okay.
So that's with our majors, our lieutenants, and also our colonel.
Gotcha.
Review everything. So which is kind of good, because they've been on that side. They've been on the road. Everybody started as road officers. So you get to that level, you have to start off as a road officer. So they kind of see, even though it's political, they'll see it from our standpoint also. Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, before we wrap up, man, let's touch on one other thing. You know what I'm saying? FTOs, like you said in a previous episode, when guys come out of the academy, they're first touched by an FTO, right? And in that process, don't you think FTOs should have the power to identify a potential bully?
They're supposed to. That's their job.
Right.
That's their job. And
but you can't identify what you are yourself.
Word. You just hit it on the head, man. Took the words right out of my mouth.
That's why I said that they need to hire me back to be a what I call a watchman, to say this is obviously an issue.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, man, we cannot continue to let individuals slip through the cracks. Because it's a danger to society. In how we continue to operate as police officers.
That's right. And we're not only our brothers keepers, we are our brothers keepers, not just Blue, but everybody. We are our brothers keepers, right?
Exactly.
So I tell you what, hey, this has been another exciting, conversation topic on the Black Shield. And I'm going to pass to big brother Andre Ewing to send us out of here.
Once again, I'm here with brother Xcalibur from South Carolina, the trooper that don't take nothing. And my main man, brother Rasheed, the light is bright. And I'm brother Dre with Curse Breakers 300. And as usual, we're not here to take sides. We are here to save lives. Yes.